Hello, and welcome to our long overdue second episode of Conquering Disney. Today we head out of the parks to a restaurant that has been open less than 4 years at the time of the making of this video, yet carries a history that goes all the way back to the opening of Walt Disney World Resort. Today we head to the Contemporary Resort and dive into the surprisingly deep history of Steakhouse 71.
Disney is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
The Contemporary Resort opened with the Magic Kingdom on October 1st, 1971. Steakhouse 71 is located on the first floor of the Contemporary, but looked very different on that opening day. The location was originally extra or flex convention space and was named the Sunshine State Exhibitorium. While I could find little information about this space, one item that I did find was there was a car lift in the back of the space, so they did have the ability to bring in cars to this location. In the early years of the resort, Disney realized that there was not a lot for guests to do after the parks closed, so they started developing entertainment offerings. With this, they quickly converted the room into entertainment space, adding air hockey and pool tables. It was renamed to the Fiesta Fun Center and officially opened sometime in 1973. It helped provide the after-park entertainment by being open with late hours extending after midnight. Upon opening, they expanded their offerings of games to include skee-ball and pinball machines, just to name a few. The arcade was known for having many of each of the most popular games of its time and for keeping them around for a long time as well. This was also the largest arcade on Disney property. The room itself was a huge warehouse-like space that was 134 feet by 150 feet, making it the largest arcade on Disney property. There was a snack bar off to the side of the room that served hot dogs in bags and other fast food snacks. The area had orange, red, and yellow Formica decor. The Fiesta Fun Center was known for artwork by Bill Justice on the walls, which are thought to have been plywood cutouts. For those who don't know, Bill Justice is a Disney legend who is an animator best known for his work on Chip and Dale. He was also an Imagineer who helped do programming for audio animatronics for rides including Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion. These are just a small list of his accomplishments, and I highly recommend reading more about Bill if you are interested. When the Fiesta Fun Center first opened, it had a small movie theater in the back corner. The movie theater would run first-run movies as well as classic Disney films. The cost to see one of these movies was $1. The movie theater did not last long though, as it was removed sometime in the mid-1970s. It is unclear if the theater was relocated or not. Replacing the theater was a shooting gallery that was manufactured by McGlashan Enterprises. The company was actually purchased by Walt Disney Productions in 1969, but were allowed to continue to function as an independent company. This is the same company that did both the Disneyland and the Disney World shooting galleries. The one in the Fiesta Fun Center was actually one of the first shooting galleries to use light gun technology. The shooting gallery included many familiar Disney set pieces. One example of this is an alligator animatronic that was later used in America Sings and then moved to Splash Mountain. It was still there up until the ride closure in early 2023. There are many photos that can be found online, so if you're interested, go look them up and see how many Disney nods you can find and share your favorite in the comments. The Fiesta Fun Center was featured in a TV special in the late 1970s, The Mouseketeers at Walt Disney World. This special is actually available to watch on Disney Plus at the time of making this video, so if you're interested in seeing a time capsule of the parks, I highly recommend giving it a watch. In October of 1978, the International Chamber of Commerce convention was held at the Contemporary Resort. During this convention, a very famous picture was taken inside of the Fiesta Fun Center, though you wouldn't know it by looking at it. For the convention, they removed the games and let WED Enterprises set up a large Epcot site model. The famous picture features then Disney president and CEO Card Walker and President Carter and his wife looking over the model. In 1995, the Fiesta Fun Center was closed and reopened as the Food and Fun Center. During the refurbishment, the shooting gallery was removed and replaced with a prize redemption center. The current location of the bar at Steakhouse 71 was the location of the snack bar for the Food and Fun Center. During our first trip to Steakhouse 71, we had a waiter named Tim, who was a wealth of knowledge. He started working as a server at the Contemporary in 1995. This is what Tim remembered about the Food and Fun Center.
Here, the food court was over in the bar area. This was the arcade, a huge arcade that went from the entrance all the way back to this back wall. It was like the biggest arcade on Disney property. But they decided with times changing, you didn't need that big arcade anymore, so they shifted everything upstairs, and that's still up there. And then
Did they move the arcade up there where the restaurant was?
No, where the restaurant was is now the fast food area.
Okay.
Which is called the Contempo Cafe.
Okay.
And they wanted where a store used to be down on this end of the fourth floor is now the arcade. And they took a group of us that were working there, shifted down here to open up the Wave, and then the Wave was here until just last July. And then that shut, and they remodeled and made it into Steakhouse 71.
With the changing of time and the changing of needs for arcade, the Food and Fun Center closed in 2007. It was moved to the fourth floor and currently sits in a location that used to be a store. At this time, the fourth floor housed the Concourse Steakhouse that would later become the Contempo Cafe, but that is a story for another day. With the moving of the arcade, the Concourse Steakhouse closed to make way for the opening of the Wave. The Wave opened on June 7, 2008, and would change its name in the early 2010s to the Wave of American Flavors, though most people would continue to just simply call it the Wave. According to the official Walt Disney World website, in early 2009, the Wave is a casual restaurant for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, offering healthy choices, world flavors, and original cocktails at Disney's Contemporary Resort. This is what Tim shared with us about the Wave.
So before COVID, we were one of the only restaurants on property at the Wave that had a buffet and a menu for breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Then when we reopened after COVID, there were no more buffets. Right. So we still haven't gotten back our buffet area, but it's still back there.
One of the items that seemed to stand out was their signature sweet potato pancakes with pecan honey butter. For lunch and dinner, some of the featured items included Angus beef signature burger, sustainable seafood, and grilled beef tenderloin. When walking into the Wave, you walked down a long hallway under stainless steel sculptures that represented the curl of an ocean wave. To your right, upon entering, was the Blue Room, where you could grab a drink while you waited for your table. As you can guess by the name, the room is lit with a blue hue and seemed to invoke the feeling of being under the ocean. Straight ahead of the entrance hallway was the host stand with the bar directly behind. The bar could seat approximately 36 and had an overhead twinkling stars effect. The cocktail glasses even had the Wave etched into them. Upon entering the windowless dining room, you would notice the Wave theming throughout, from the ceiling to the light fixtures in the back of the chairs. During my research, I actually found an eBay listing for one of the light fixtures that hung in the restaurant. Although some expressed having felt the room lacked story and felt more early 21st century hotel restaurant or maybe even cruise ship dining, others seemed to find it very sophisticated. Some of those thoughts may have been justified, because at night they would turn down the overhead lights, making it a much more intimate dining atmosphere. They would have a candle on each table, while also removing the salt, pepper, and sugar and presenting it on a request-only basis. In comparison to many of the highly themed restaurants on property, I'm thinking specifically of our last location, the Sci-Fi Dine-In, the Wave may seem somewhat generic. It seems to have overcome that, though, by developing a reputation for a good menu, a skillful kitchen, friendly servers, and overall being a good value. The Wave closed for refurbishment on July 16, 2021, and was widely believed to be done and be able to reopen in time for the 50th anniversary of the Walt Disney World Resort. During the closure, the California Grill at the top of Disney's Contemporary Resort offered breakfast, which was also accompanied by a pretty good view. However, this closure would be more than just a refurbishment. It would be an entirely new restaurant concept with a new name. On August 20th, 2021, Disney announced this new restaurant would be Steakhouse 71. Shortly after, on September 13th, they announced the family-friendly steakhouse would open on October 1st for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just in time for Disney's 50th anniversary celebration. According to Tim, to prepare for the opening, they did 2 weeks of training at the top of the world at Bay Lake Tower. Now, the name Steakhouse 71 might seem familiar, especially if you have ever dined at the Disneyland Hotel. The hotel's Steakhouse 55, which opened on November 27, 2006, was the top restaurant for steaks at the Disneyland Resort. When the Disneyland Hotel reopened on July 2, 2021, following the closure for the pandemic, most dining locations returned as well. However, Steakhouse 55 did not. Disney later confirmed its closure was permanent. The official Disney website describes Steakhouse 71 as follows. Named for the year Disney's Contemporary Resort first opened, Steakhouse 71 harkens back to the Disney style of the 1970s, reimagined in a contemporary, comfortable, and sleek way. You'll even notice some Florida flair, such as orangebird and citrus groves mixed into the decor. There are pictures hung throughout the restaurant that are all from 1971, including the long entrance hallway that, while no longer holds the metal sculptures, includes a number of fascinating pictures that anyone who is interested in the history of the parks shouldn't miss. Disney had originally wanted a resort to be themed to every land in the Magic Kingdom. As part of this plan, the Contemporary would have represented Tomorrowland. While this never happened, the restaurant pays a nod to this in the lounge with specific Tomorrowland theming throughout its pictures. Even the food points back to the man who started it all. According to the Disney website, you can feast on a delicious menu that offers a nod to Walt Disney himself. Choose from dishes inspired by some of Walt's favorites, including the Steakhouse 71 feast or Walt's prime rib hash for breakfast. One of, if not the most popular dish here, is the Stack Burger, which many have said is the best burger on all of Disney property. So, what are my thoughts? I have been able to eat here twice as the time of making this video, and I have very mixed reviews. The first time was phenomenal. Tim was excellent and so much fun to talk to. And of course I got the Stack Burger, and it was superb. On my next trip, however, things did not go so well. The service was lacking, from waiting over 30 minutes for a reservation to a server who was seldom seen, and the same burger that was this time just okay. We were also at the table for over an hour and a half, which is way longer than Disney intends their turnaround time to be. Having said that, it has not soured my taste for this restaurant or its theming. I'm obviously a fan of the history of the parks and love the pictures that are in the restaurant. And let's be honest, everyone can have an off day. If I go back, I will most likely give the burger another shot, and I will certainly make sure that I ask for Tim if he is working. If this is one of your favorite places to eat, let me know down in the comments what your go-to dish is. If you haven't been there before and you want a good solid meal away from the hustle and bustle of the parks, or if you enjoy the history of the resort as much as I do and want to see some amazing photos, Steakhouse 71 is just a quick monorail stop away from the Magic Kingdom. I definitely recommend giving this place a shot, and if you get the chance, ask for Tim and tell him Conquering Disney sent you. Thanks so much for watching. If you are enjoying our videos, please leave us a like and don't forget to subscribe. And if you feel up to it, please share this with someone who will enjoy it as well. This video, we want to focus on the Boys and Girls Club as our nonprofit. I have recently become involved with our local Boys and Girls Club, and I am truly beginning to see what a difference they are making in children's lives. While I can't speak for any other club than the one that I am involved with, I am truly amazed by the passion that they have for these kids. If you don't know your local club, I strongly encourage you to check them out and see if you can take a tour. Find a way to plug in and help, whether it be with a monetary donation or just giving of your time. In doing so, you can be a part of helping to enrich and grow a child's life right there in your community. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time on Conquering Disney.